All right, things look a little crazy out in the French Quarter tonight. This is Bourbon Street right now. It is packed with people in costumes and everyone celebrating one of New Orleans' favorite holidays. Good evening and happy Halloween, everyone. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Devin Bartolotta. Halloween always brings thousands of visitors here. And this time last year, believe it or not, the city's mask mandate had just been lifted.
Eleanor Tabone shows us how the spookiness was turned up this time around.
In one of the spookiest cities in America, the children came out for a fright.
Last year, more kids came out during the day and not at night, and I was a little disappointed in that because they really can't get the full effect of Halloween then.
The candy guards sat waiting to hand out their sugary treats.
Looking pretty good. It's having a little fun. The kids are having fun. They're getting out and about, getting the candy. I enjoy Halloween. It's all for the kids.
Longtime residents in this River Ridge neighbourhood say there are fewer trick-or-treaters.
Maybe because it's a school week, a school day, and some of the little ones go to bed so early, whereas on a weekend they keep them up.
Meanwhile, on Frenchman Street, the adults sort out their favourite haunts.
We put your phone on a cart and it goes through 45 feet of spooky art. And as the phone goes, it'll make a video and you'll get to be in the video as monsters in the haunted house.
A haunted roller coaster taking technology to another worldly dimension.
It's truly a unique, one-of-a-kind experience. It's the world's first and only interactive, immersive experience for cell phones.
A year from when the last mask mandate was lifted, New Orleanians and visitors let their inner monster out.
October especially is the tourist time. It's our biggest, it's wedding time, it's convention time. So Halloween's an amazing sort of draw because of, all of New Orleans' interesting dynamics. From
Cruella de Vil to the spookiest bee you'll see on Frenchman Street. From Halloween in New Orleans, go trick or treat yourself. Eleanor Tabone, Eyewitness News.
Beautiful princess and a prince. How are you? Good to see you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
There are still thousands and thousands and thousands of stolen documents that Donald Trump took to Mar-a-Lago that we do not know the contents of. But as of the last day, we do know the contents of a few, and it is not looking good. According to a source from inside of the investigation, at least one of the documents seized by the FBI describes Iran's missile program. Okay, other documents described highly sensitive intelligence work aimed at China. And so from the very early on in this investigation, we had heard through leaks that there were documents that were of a national security nature. There had been talk about programs or documents having to do with nuclear programs. We don't have any more information about that right now. But it has been easy over the past few months to forget about those early leaks and to start to focus on, for instance, Trump's conversations with Bob Woodward, where he's talking about letters to the dictator of North Korea. Some of them were letters, yes, and others were about the most sensitive sorts of information. And the sources have said that this is not just a thing where it would look really bad if these were to come out. There would be ongoing damage to America's ability to conduct these sorts of intelligence operations. They say that any unauthorized disclosures of specific information in the documents would pose multiple risks. People aiding US intelligence efforts could be endangered, and collection methods could be compromised. Some of the people referenced in the documents could still be assisting the United States, and their lives would almost certainly be forfeit either in Iran or in China were that to be discovered. Not to mention the fact that were details of whatever is in these documents to come out, I have a feeling that neither Iran nor China would like it and might retaliate in some fashion. And so we don't know about, again, all of the other documents. They do say that the classified documents about Iran and China are considered among the most sensitive, which it's a sentence that's structured as if it's supposed to make us feel better, but I would really rather that those were the most sensitive. I don't like the idea that there's other stuff that's comparable to missile technology or defense, spies that are embedded inside of China and things of that sort. And so they are leaving open the door in that statement that there are potentially even more sensitive documents. And remember, these are the sorts of things Donald Trump specifically chose to steal from the United States government when he's finally booted from the White House.
Yeah, so in order to get to the right result here, the most important part is for us to understand the depth of the problem and to ignore the zombies. So I'm going to explain what that means in a second. First, let's do the usual comic/tragic situation that always arises with Donald Trump. So first subpoena goes, not subpoena, first request goes out. Hey, it looks like you've stolen some of the documents, Mr. President. Could you please return them? Obviously, there'll be no consequences. You're among the elites. We're ever so sorry to bother you for having caught you as breaking the law, but can you return them? He returns some of them. In that batch, there's 184 classified documents. 25 of them are top secret. The archives are like, geez, this is crazy. Why did he take these home? This is terrible, ridiculous. No, wait a minute. I don't think this is all of them, right? Then they ask him again, and this time, think about it, guys. I mean, forget the right wingers. I'm just talking to independents, okay? The right wingers are the zombies. I'll get back to them. Why? Then he turns over another 38 classified documents, and 17 of them are top secret. Why didn't he turn over that second batch with the first batch?
Weird.
Right? Like, why is he constantly trying to hold on? Then the archives are like, Jesus, I don't think this is all of it either, right? So then they send somebody down there because Trump's like, oh, what? I'm cooperating, right? I gave you everything already. What do you want, right? So they go because they have internal sources. They go to the storage room and there's boxes that look like just like the other boxes that held classified information. And Trump's guys are like, yeah, those boxes are not the same as the other boxes and you're not allowed to look. We're not allowed to look. Those look like top secret documents. No, you're not allowed to look, and besides, they're not there, okay? And Trump and his lawyers signed the thing saying, no, we don't have any more. We don't have any more. And then you see on tape at Mar-a-Lago, them moving the boxes afterwards,
yep.
Right? Because Trump told them to move, and the inside sources say, yeah, Trump told me to move them after he told you there weren't any more documents. That's unbelievable lies, right? And then they raid, and then they find all of these new documents, tens of thousands of documents, so many of them classified, so many of them top secret. And now we find out, oh my God, as we were worried, it's the top secret information related to weapons programs of Iran and China. It just really, and our potential spies in those countries whose lives are endangered. It just doesn't get any worse than this. And so now that returns us to the zombies. In a rational world, guys, that's it, we're done with it. You arrest Donald Trump, and you follow the regular course of law, rule of law and order, right? No, there's a third of the country that goes, nope, he magically declassified them by thinking about them. And besides, the FBI planted them, even though he says they were there, and that they were messed up his already organized documents. And besides which, it was the ghost of Hugo Chavez. So, but what we're doing, and this is very, very, very important, is we're wasting time arguing with zombies. So if you're a prosecutor, you're a bureaucrat, you're a legislator, whoever you are in government today, you must protect democracy. And if you let them keep breaking, this is how fascists test the system. They test, they test, they test. What can we get away with? What can we get away with? Hey, why don't I steal the national secrets? Maybe I sell the national secrets. What can I get away with? What will they let me do? Because if I get back into power, what if I steal the whole country? I just say there is no more democracy. They let me get away with everything, right? So you must uphold the law. Don't do anything unfair. Don't arrest people that didn't do anything wrong. That's mental. That's what the other side does. But when someone breaks the law, you must uphold the law. If you don't, they're gonna breach the walls. Fascism isn't coming, it's here. All right, Adrienne.
Yeah, without a doubt, it is very much here. And just, hearing this news today was incredibly sobering. It's not anything that I had not fathomed in some way, given how terrible he is as a human being and how much he's willing to sell out the US government and the US people for whatever will fill his coffers. But just the degree of treason, this ode to espionage, the trash that is Trump, it just keeps hitting. And the fact that there are people out there in the field right now who are working to secure, hopefully maybe even getting some of this information, gathering more intel, or they are now put in jeopardy. It's a potential of lives out there of people who could be put at risk for harm, because who knows who Trump has shared some of this information with. But we know that he had stolen this information. He's stolen documents. And as you noted, Cenk, he's continued to push the system. And he has done it all under this protection of the fact that he is former president. And it is completely and utterly disheartening to see that our system continues to allow this man to run amok. And especially this man, he talked a big game back in the day, about being so tough on China, also claiming to be tough on Iran. And it's clear that he is willing to compromise America's national security, largely for his own financial gain, because I'm certain that's what he has. At the end of the day, that is what he is doing this for. And it's utterly disgusting, but it's equally problematic if our government does nothing about it.
Yeah, and you said right there, who knows who he shared the documents with. We also don't know that he even knows who saw those documents. I mean, he just left them in boxes in a storage room that wasn't locked. Stuff about weapons technology and who our spies are and how they operate. He doesn't even necessarily know who might have wandered from the ballroom over into that storage room, took a few little quick pictures or took the documents and then walked away. Maybe they emptied out some folders. Maybe that's why they were empty folders. And the only thing I would add to what you said, Cenk, was you sketched out the multiple levels of this where he kept holding on to more documents. There is the one extra layer that the DOJ says they still haven't accounted for all the documents. They still think he has more. You talked about them loading the boxes onto the plane. We have no idea where those documents went. We might never find those. I mean, maybe the DOJ is wrong, or probably they're not, and God only knows where the documents are now. Even after being raided, and there's an investigation, he didn't turn over all the documents. Now, normally at this point, I would just move forward to these next couple of elements, but I want to ask a very serious question to the panel. Do we care about Donald Trump's response to this most recent development? I'll read it if you want, but I don't have to.
But the reason why it's relevant, John, is because remember, for the zombies, all the facts that we just gave you that are absolutely indisputable are irrelevant. They're just gonna listen to the dribblings of their mad king that John's gonna read for you now, because I won't read it. Because guys, here's the thing you gotta understand is about the zombies. They genuinely think that what John's about to read you is true. Like, because a lot of people in DC think, oh, they don't really think that. No, they don't really, no. Yeah. You're just projecting. No, they do actually believe this. Yeah. And that's why it's so dangerous.
Okay, yeah, well, and look, one reason to believe that it could be true is I found it on a website called Truth Social.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that sounds pretty reputable. Yeah. So with that said,
and it's a truth. It's not a tweet.
It is. It's right there in the name.
It's perfectly Orwellian.
Anyway, here's